Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sick Folks of Cinema.
Woo.
I am your hot potato host this week, Keith Graber, and with me are the other sick folks. We have Heather Rogue, take a virtual bow.
Oh, yes, it is me.
It is her. Stefan Bowman.
Heyo.
And last but never least, it's Christina Ceballos.
Woohoo! Hi.
And this week we have a special treat for you guys. We have a guest co-host with the sick folks. I think he's a sick folk. Guys, give it up for Kevin Heisinger.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Nice to see you, Kevin. Thanks for coming along. It's a party here. All right, guys, let's start talking about all the dumb shit that we watched this week. Heather, let's start with you.
Ooh, okay. All right, this is gonna be fun. So first of all, we gotta talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's talk about the good. It's on Netflix. It's called I Care a Lot. Y'all heard about?
Yeah,
I heard about it.
Y'all heard about this one?
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen it? No one else has seen it yet? Really?
I haven't seen it
It's on
yet.
my list.
No? This is the best movie I've seen on Netflix since like the last really good movie. And I don't remember which one that was. But
Narrows it down.
I don't know. It's really good. I don't know what to say about it besides I'll just say what the genre is. It's like a thriller. It's like it's almost like, yeah, it's like two very strong characters led by very good actors start to have a little conflict, and you don't necessarily like either of those characters as people, but God, you love watching them go at each other. You know what I mean? And like, it's so good. I approve. It gets the Heather stamp of go watch that fucking shit right now. And then so that's the good. I Care a Lot on Netflix. Then the next one is the I guess the bad or the ugly, one of those. I'm not sure which one this falls into, but I tried to watch a little bit of that fucking Zac Efron show, Down to Earth. Have you guys heard about that?
I've seen it, and it's hard. Like, the only redeeming quality is that Zac Efron is hot.
It's so bad. Oh my God. So it's Zac Efron, right? And then some guy who probably like did a bunch of peyote with him at a bar one time and pitched this fucking idea to the guy. So they ended up becoming co-hosts to they traveled together and made a show. This guy, it's Zac Efron and a guy who has like a fucking superfood pyramid scheme where he like gets people to sell his shakes for him. You know, the problem with the pyramid scheme is that if you don't really only become successful if you're the guy on top, right? And everyone else is kind of just like taking out second mortgages and shit like that. Really, that's why what I want to do is I want to set up a pyramid scheme of pyramid schemes. So if you guys want to be your own boss, you know, if you've ever thought about that,
I don't think I'm qualified.
Better than that, how about go trick somebody else into who wants to be their own boss into making you money? That's the way to do it, right?
So be a pimp. Got it.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Pyramid schemes are just
pyramid schemes.
Yeah,
so that everyone
schemes are just
can
be your own
on
pimp.
top of their own pyramid scheme.
So this has gone from what you're watching to like a Tony Robbins inspirational like TED Talk type of thing. So
make me money.
This is what I thought about while I was watching this show, and that's all I got out of it. Really, it's just.
So you're saying it was really inspirational.
It's about different pyramid schemes. This guy sells fucking water, like special water. He's like, you can't even get this water in the U.S., man. This is good fucking water. All right. Anyways, that's all I want to talk about. You can go on to the next fucking person.
Okay. Moving right along. Stefan, I don't know if you're gonna preach to us about Dogecoin or something, but what have you been watching?
Let's see here. I watched this Lost Boys mini doc on YouTube, and then some interviews at these different horror cons because I'm a huge Monsters fan of Joel Schumacher's 80s classic, The Lost Boys.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Huge fan of Kiefer Sutherland. He's one of the few actors from that era that's not really done that many bad movies. I mean, later on, yeah, okay. But his early career to like him in his early like late 20s, early 30s, like he was just knocking them out the park, man. Like,
It was one of my first crushes in Lost Boys.
Oh, Lost Boys
Love
is
me
just
some Kiefer Sutherland.
fucking amazing.
I never got it. I never got it with Kiefer. Not that not that I'm a heartthrob dude, but
Jack Bauer.
right.
The guy, he did so much in all those days.
Oh, dude, what is it? Stand by Me, Young Guns 1 and 2. There's so many.
My
God.
cousin met him at a bar and he was hitting on her really hard, but she was married at the time. But they're divorced now. So Keeper, if you're out there, if you're listening, she's available. Well, she's not, but she's married again. But her husband will watch you do stuff to her. If you're listening, Keeper. I keep trying to contact his agent.
24.
We're gonna tag him in this video, so
Please, Keeper.
So we'll make sure he gets
Kiefer,
this.
come talk to me. I mean, my God.
Please, we are available.
Available, yes.
I
Single
will
and ready
say
to
this.
mingle.
I'll put this on the record since we're all doing it. I'm not interested. Sorry. I think you're a great actor, but it just doesn't do it for me. More of a Donald Sutherland kind of guy.
Yeah, is he still available?
I
He's
was
still
going to say,
alive.
who does it to you?
Hey, the Crypt
You know?
Keeper's hot, okay? Let's just get that out of the way.
I'll tell you what, Weird Al Yankovic. Sorry, go ahead, Stefan.
Weird Al Yankovic. Portrait of Darkness, which is an amazing documentary on Amazon / Shudder. And that's really cool because it goes through all the different like Hallmark, well, not Hallmark channel, but the great horror movies of the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s. Really, really good stuff. And then you learn a lot of stuff in that. Like some people don't even still know that Dan O'Bannon, who helped write and direct Return of the Living Dead from the 80s, which was one of the first running zombie movies and one of the first to say brains as far as the zombies. He wrote Alien, the original Alien. So a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of YouTube stuff.
I'm like a lot of
there was a movie that came out on Friday that I want to see if there's a way I can watch. I'm not going to any limited theater for this shit. Fuck that. There's still COVID out there. But if you haven't seen the trailer, it's called Chaos Walking. It has Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Matt Mikkelsen, who plays Hannibal on the Hannibal TV show.
Sounds like a good guy.
And that one, it looks really, really interesting. I don't know if anybody's seen the trailer, but basically there's this place that Daisy Ridley lands, and there's no women to be found. This is in the trailer. And she can hear the visualized thoughts of the men on this place. And they've had to learn how to like meditate or focus their thoughts so people can't hear them out loud. So when they think, really dark or dirty or anything, you see a visualization and you can hear what they're thinking. Like physically it manifests.
Oh, wow.
It looks
Like
really cool.
A Bird Box, but a different sense,
Kind of, yeah. It looks really cool. That one. I watched the PlayStation State of Play because I'm a fucking gamer nerd. And then last week I didn't get to talk about. I watched Judas and the Black Messiah.
So good.
Oh, I heard that was
so good. It was really
Impressive.
good. I think it might get an Oscar. I don't know how that's possible even in today's COVID,
That's what I've
but I
heard
hope
too.
it does. And then real quick, any of y'all seen the trailer for the new Zack Snyder zombie movie? I'm fucking excited.
Army
as
of the
hell.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to rob some kind of bank or a casino vault, if you will, in the middle of this monster zombie apocalypse. And there's it looks like there's like nowhere to park because the zombies are literally fucking everywhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looks really
So-
cool though. Looks really cool.
It sounds blockbustery. Is it going to be blockbustery?
If you're into dark comedy with horror with like a lot of action, hey, it's a
That could be
popcorn.
fun.
It's a popcorn movie.
I think Zack Snyder. I'm just like,
He's 50-50. He's
is it
50-50.
gonna be-
I
yeah,
love
is it
I
going to be like
three
Michael
hundred.
Bay-ish is what I'm worried about.
He's not 50-50.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah.
60-40 maybe.
All right,
that's
let's-
generous.
Tina, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, let's see. I'm all caught up on WandaVision. I'm all caught up on RuPaul's Drag Race. And then there's Breaking Bad, which I'm on the last season of Breaking Bad. And I learned that I appreciate the show. You know, it's a good show and it keeps you hooked. But I absolutely hate almost every character in that show. Like there is one person I sympathize with, and that's Jesse Pinkman, because this human being literally
the worst one.
he has literally the shittiest luck, and I understand and sympathize with that. But okay, he's the shittiest one. Walter White is probably one of the worst human beings that I've seen made on a screen, and that says a lot. Like he's one of those people where it's like, I know you're in a fucked up situation, but isn't this really all just on you? Like, isn't this your own fault? Like, I don't have any sympathy for
That's
any
accountability. That doesn't sound bad.
So they're all deplorable people, and then you have to pick one to like.
Yeah, and the one you like is the junkie. When you sympathize with the junkie the most, and he's literally written to be that, like, oh, you're a fucking garbage human being, and that's the one you sympathize with.
The guy having motel parties.
Yeah. And like, just because I came into the Breaking Bad game so late, it makes me question like the hype that was around it when it was actually on, because people were like, Walter White, Heisenberg, yeah. And I was like, you know, did he really deserve all that hype? Like, what were y'all really thinking? Like, what was happening in your life at that time? You know?
Like, crack is good.
But yeah, that's all I've been watching. Just Breaking Bad.
All right. Kevin, how about you? What have you been up to? What have you been watching lately?
I actually just started watching this show. It's not streaming anywhere, but I found the DVD for super cheap. It's called Strangers with Candy. I don't know if you guys have seen it with Stephen Colbert, one of the first things he did. And I never seen it because it's not streaming. I found the series for super cheap, and it's one of my favorites right now. It's so like politically incorrect, and the characters are such awful people, and I love it. It's when Jerry Blank is
Amy
awful.
Sedaris is amazing.
She's so funny, and it's one of my new favorite shows right now. I'm almost done with the third season. I highly recommend the first one and some of the second. And that's good.
I haven't seen that show in years, and I still think of phrases from it. Like, I still call pregnant getting preggers. I still, think of like, if wishes and butts were clusters of nuts, we'd all have a bowl of granola. Like,
it's so good.
Funny dumb shit from that fucking show stays. Like, it was so good.
And it's weird because HBO Max because it was on Comedy Central, and HBO Max has a lot of the Comedy Central stuff, but it's still not on there. So I'm hoping
there's a lot of stuff not on HBO Max that should be.
I love the weird closeted soap opera relationship between Stephen Colbert and the other teacher.
Yeah, the Paul Dinello, they're so funny. I just love the whole idea, because the way they filmed it is like they're parroting after school specials, but in like the opposite, they always learn the worst lesson that they should. And that's just, and I love that about comedy. I love Seinfeld and Always Sunny, where
I love Seinfeld.
Because I never liked the show Friends or any of the heartfelt stuff, because I just love my characters just be terrible people that never learn anything,
or who at least have some kind of personality flaws.
Exactly.
Something
I would
little
be applauding
interesting.
if I didn't have a hot drink in my hand.
Ross does have a lot of personality flaws. Like, Rachel should not have ended up with him. That was a terrible ending.
You said that was the good. You've been watching something bad too. Is that what you're saying?
I do have a podcast called Midnight Movie Night where we watch and discuss bad movies. Heather's been on multiple times, and we just reviewed probably one of my favorite bad movies ever. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, called Torque with Ice Cube.
Yeah, I've seen it, unfortunately.
I highly recommend. It's on HBO Max. It's this Fast and Furious ripoff
with motorcycles.
With motorcycles, but it's kind of like a middle finger to it. Like, look how cool we are because we ride motorcycles. Yeah. And obviously it was not successful. But I will say I've watched this movie way more than any of the Fast and Furious movies. It's so bad that it really is good.
Mhm.
I mean, it ends. They ride off into the sunset to Nickelback, and it's not ironic.
That
And
Oh
reminds
my
me.
God.
It reminds me of that Vanilla Ice has a movie like that where he's on
Cool
a
as Ice.
Cool as Ice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I
that's
remember
coming
that.
up. I'm saving that one because it
I
is
remember
up
that one.
there. It is.
I actually love that movie.
It's hilarious. It's so
I would give it a good
nonsensical.
review. Yeah, it's like
For
it's
the
almost
time it
like
came out. For the
his
time it
version
came
of the
out, you know?
Prince had a similar kind of theme movie where what was
The
Prince's movie?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, and it was on the
The
motorcycle.
motorcycle the whole time. Yeah, those are so funny because like here's something that they think this is really cool, but it's not at all. And I love that.
I love that energy. you
Yeah,
know?
it's something. It's so dated
It's-
and it's really not cool.
It just says like I have a bad agent. That's all that movie says.
All
it's
you,
funny. Yeah,
yeah,
both of
all you
those are
got to
coming
do
up.
is go watch Miami Connection. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
we
Miami
actually
Connection?
just did that one
Oh,
a few weeks
if
ago.
you haven't seen that, Keith, that's classic.
So
Yeah,
good.
People have been telling me to watch it. Sorry, but I don't mean to ruin it for the folks at home. But
Holy smokes, his hair
Yeah.
came off.
you'd be surprised
Oh,
how
look,
many
and
people-
this is just a hat too.
this is like remember when didn't George get a toupee on Seinfeld?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I've been watching. So I have, I don't know. I guess you could call it like active and passive watching modes, and I only honestly spend a little bit of time active watching things, meaning like a show I really like or I expect I will like, and I
Mhm.
sit down in front of the TV and watch it, or I watch it while I'm eating or something like that. And then passive is like when I'm laying in bed and maybe working on the laptop, just like writing or doing whatever. And it's like to put me to sleep bullshit. you know?
Background noise.
Yeah. So my active one this week has been Solar Opposites. I just realized I got Hulu. I didn't know I had Hulu for like 6 months. I'm an idiot. And then I'm like, oh, that's the show I've been wanting to watch. It's the Rick and Morty
Yeah, I've seen it.
co-creator. Yeah.
How did you like that?
It
Or how
felt
are you
like,
liking it?
I'm not that far into it, but so far it's got that like underwhelming spin-off kind of vibe about
Like
it.
American Dad?
Yeah, and American Dad did finally find its own groove. The Cleveland show was probably a better example of a very underwhelming spin-off. But American Dad did fall into its own like, no, this is a total different shit show, and I respect it for how it eventually morphed. But yeah, it just, I'm going to give it a chance for sure. And I love Rick and Morty, but yeah, it's got that, like, I don't want to say all the bad words, that derivative or any of that kind of stuff, but it just feels like so far not knocking my socks off kind of spin-off vibe, but we'll get there.
Yeah. What Solar Opposites taught me is that everything I like in Rick and Morty is because of Dan Harmon.
Mm-hmm. He's a brilliant writer. Like,
Yeah.
he is the doc behind that.
Yeah, Solar Opposites is funny, but everything that I adore about Rick and Morty is Dan Harmon, and it's the same thing with Community,
Yeah. And I will say this, I noticed a little bit of forced exposition, which is sometimes funny, especially in an animated series or what, and especially something meta where it's smart and they're forcing it on purpose and maybe an ironic way, whatever. But there's a couple times where I'm like, that was just plain forced. Like, you're just give me the script, I'll read it. You know what I mean? It's just easier. But it's good so far. We'll see where we get with it. And then the other thing that I've been watching is my passive bullshit. I don't know why I love this stuff, but I got into Age of the Samurai on Netflix. It's sort of like a documentary type of thing. So
yeah, that actually popped up after I was done watching the movie that we're reviewing today. That came up as the trailer, and I was like, I don't hate this.
Yeah, it's fun. It's neat. It's not quite Ken Burns, but it feels like maybe it's got that a little Ken Burnsy, but it does have a little bit of that I don't know, like that documentary / reality show kind of producing, and then like where they repeat the shots a couple times. You're like, I already saw that shot. I get it. Like you're just like ran out of footage. Yeah,
it's very
low on
History
footage.
Channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. It's not going to blow you away, but it's interesting and it's felt informative, I guess. I don't know.
At least it's History Channel at its best, right? It's not like Ice Pick Trucker Pawn Stars, you know.
Or Duck Dynasty.
And I will tell you this, my weekly run-in with Synchronicity was just today. I pulled up Instagram and there was an ad for the movie Blithe Spirit that's coming out now with Judi Dench. And in that movie was the actor who was the star of the movie we're reviewing today, Apostle, which I was like, wow, that's weird. How much else do they know about me on Instagram?
Your phone's listening to you.
Yeah.
Instagram is listening to you.
Yeah. So anyway, but that brings us to our main movie that we're reviewing today, Apostle. So I don't know, guys, tell me, what'd you think about this movie?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Is that a bold
That's it.
statement?
That's our podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I liked it. I liked that I thought it was going to be one thing,
Mhm.
and then it turned into something else that I was not expecting.
Mhm.
And I thought it was going to go one direction. And I was like, holy shit. Like there was a point where I was like, oh my God, what is happening? Like, wait a second. Hold on.
That lead guy was also in a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen The Guest, which is also on Netflix, which I highly recommend. That movie was insane.
Yeah, I think I saw a preview for that or heard about it, and I'm interested in
it. Looks like whatever, but then I watched it one night and it was just amazing. I did not expect that.
Dan Stevens is the actor.
Right.
You've got some gorgeous blue eyes, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he's a very attractive man.
Well, he was able to play an unattractive.
He
He was unattractive like at first. He's all like grizzly and limping and like right. Like I like when an attractive actor can pull off like, you're kind of grossing me out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, if you're a fan of the film, the director made two of my favorite martial art action movies of all time: The Raid and The Raid 2.
Yeah, I saw he directed this, and I was so surprised. Like, wait, it's that guy? Because The Raid is insane, and here he is making this period piece horror flick. Like, all right, he's got some. Range. Evans.
Oh yeah, and then he's got that television series Gangs of London, which I barely just started. I haven't gotten too deep into, but yeah, those two movies are great. It was a fun flick. They got the wardrobe right. I like a lot of the cinematography. I really will speak highly of that. I love a lot of those area shots, man.
That opening shot was
it's amazing. They don't have enough of that anymore. They really don't, man.
How wide was that camera? Like that was a really wide shot, and I felt like I was watching something Tarantino or something, you know?
Yeah, it had more. It really for what it was. It felt like a really big movie, production value wise, with a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to whoever did the practical effects, man, because there's some nice some nice effects in there.
There's some quality gore scenes that
yeah.
Okay, like I like this.
Pretty nasty.
I like the tone that they set when they introduced you to the colony, and you know, like the first feeling I had was that I don't want to be there. I never want to see this fucking place, and like that's good that you know that like hit me that hard.
Yeah, put you off right away.
Yeah, I was like,
and you're like, this is not the business for me.
It's not my favorite cult. I will say that.
I feel like we all owe Scientology an apology after everything that's been happening lately. But yeah. Also compared to this place,
y'all are structured. You have paperwork to constantly fill out.
For the most part, you keep to yourself. Like I get it. Okay, fine.
Michael Sheen in the film, for those who don't know, or maybe you do, but he was in the film series, the Underworld.
Mm-hmm.
That was him. I thought it was Loki for half the movie.
Oh.
And I had to look, wait, it's his lookalike, the other British guy.
Oh yeah, no, he's done some pretty good films, and I like the Underworld series. You know, I know that's not what we're reviewing, but I like them.
I think I saw some of the first one.
Yeah, the first ones are the best ones.
Yeah.
So I had the problem I had with this film was similar to The Ritual, where I feel like it's a tale of two films. Like it started out, I think I didn't like it for the same reason that you said you liked it, Stina. Because I felt like right out of left field, like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, who's this guy? All of a sudden that dad was like, no, I'm the real leader, surprise. And I'm like, but why? Like, who?
And see, you didn't like the ritual for that reason, and I did. Like, I like that kind of like, oh wow,
What a
okay,
twist.
we're going this way now. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, I will say, I guess I'll be the elephant in the room. I thought Apostle was okay. I thought it had. I really like the cinematography, and I like
great cinematography.
The early, I like the 1905 setting, and that one scene. I will say the drill scene was probably the peak of the film. It was nasty. I wish it could have been as crazy as that scene, but it just kind of. I don't know. There's a lot of elements I liked about it. There's a lot of it that it was just kind of. It was too long. I have ADD. I had to watch this in 2 days.
I agree with that. Yep.
It was 2 hours, 10 minutes. And
yeah, it was way too long.
It was at least a half hour too long. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to like it. I like the acting, you know.
Oh, yeah. They had some great actors for sure.
I thought it was okay for me. I would give it a solid 6 out of 10. You know, maybe watch it.
Yeah.
You like horror.
I really liked I think one of my favorite characters, I wish it was a little bit more in the movie, was the masked butcher who was making mincemeat for the spoiler alert, the witch of the forest, if you will, or
what was up with that?
Or entity of the forest.
When that was happening, you know how there's a ton of video game based movies, you know, they all come out. I thought I was watching Dark Souls the movie.
I love Dark Souls.
Oh, it reminded me. Okay, so that dude reminded me of the nurses in Silent Hill. Like now that you say that, I was like, oh, okay, you're having a bandage moment.
Yeah, it had a very S&M kind of thing going on there. But that sequence when he has the hooks on the main character, Thomas, and he gets, spoiler alert, part of his hand chunked off by that fucking thing. I was like, okay, I'm for this. Is there anything else? Any more cold cuts coming here? Are we making a sandwich? What's going on?
Part of his hand.
Torture porn.
A full on 3 fingers, and he pulled it out, and he was like, ah.
Oh, that was my problem. He's just kind of like, ow, and then he just lives his life. He just he continues. He kills the other guy.
See how far he walked after being shanked in the side.
I completely forgot that he got his hand chewed up because it was too long, right? So I fell asleep the first time I watched it. I actually forgot, but the last time I watched this movie, I fell asleep as well. So I had no idea how it ended. So I was like looking forward, but then I fell asleep again after he got his hand chomped. And then the next day I woke up and like started watching it again right after that happened and had never realized he was missing his hand. Like never saw it again. You know what I mean? It just disappeared from the story after that, which is,
I feel like in their defense, they set that up by showing his backstory as a missionary when they, tortured him and branded him. And so that gave him like the John Rambo-esque qualities of like, I can tolerate pain. I've been, beaten before. So, and you see all his scars and all that kind of stuff.
Poor guy.
Yeah. I feel like what I really would want to fix about this movie is basically as soon as that again, we're spoiling everything. We're just going to talk about this movie. So
it's the spoiler section, by the way.
This is why you're here, though. This is why you're here.
As soon as the father kills his daughter, that's where it took the turn that I was like, what's going on here? I feel like, John Rambo, once he went in that tunnel, and then you don't understand how disappointed I was when the guy didn't get shot. Like when he shot his friend by accident, but he's like, you just missed me. So weird. I was like, fucking his head should have been exploded. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Or a chunk missing.
Yeah, I was like, you've missed so much more than just your friend right now with that gun.
I think he had dum-dum bullets like in Roger Rabbit, Keith.
Yeah, birdshot, like and then so the the main character finds the dungeon that way. You know, like there was such an opportunity for that to be sort of like the critical part of the ending. And I still like the fact that he got caught and tortured, etc. But you know, like I don't know, there was a moment where he got
Too predictable for you, Keith?
he got recaptured. I hate when people get recaptured. It's
Yeah.
such a like, you know.
You didn't leave the first time?
Can I defend the ending? Because I do have to say that rewatching the ending this morning, I cried, and I don't know if I'm on my period or whatever, but like, I realized this is really just a story about a brother and a sister who love each other, and there was like that moment where he's dying and he's like trying to tell her to leave for the boat, and she has to leave him behind, and he's like, go live, be the light that guides me to paradise. And this movie it's about religion, right? And it's cool how like the theme at the end comes down to your religion is about what you choose to love, and they choose to love each other as family. You know what I mean? And that was something I really appreciated. Speaking of periods, though, there was like a weird implication that maybe what she really wanted was to drink period blood, because he's like, I'm gonna keep you guys, you're gonna avail your bodies for me, and then she's gonna eat the flesh of your womb. And to me, that's like, that could be what she really wants, is to drink period blood, or maybe placenta, or the babies. I can't.
Yeah, I took it as the babies. I thought.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
gonna keep pumping out babies.
But it's vague enough that you don't, who knows?
Well, I mean, that's part of the cult life, you know? You just gotta, if you can't get any more people, you just gotta make more people, you know?
If I was like
organic
an earth goddess.
Farm to table cult.
I would just Tom Cruise it, maybe that's what, because he says flesh of the womb, right? You can't get closer than when you Tom Cruise it, like Scientology. Maybe they were just Scientologists.
This is the origin story for
We're
Scientology.
about to get like sued and hacked and shit for me saying.
Please.
I know. Hashtag Scientology in there.
Oh God.
Dare you?
I love how mysterious it was. Like he just switched his ticket with that one guy in the beginning, and then it was all mysterious. Like, who's the intruder? And it's like, you think maybe it's the weird loner who keeps staring at everyone and sneaking around? Like,
blue eyes.
So suspicious.
How is it not that guy?
You don't think that it's the guy who literally just came in and shit started happening? I don't know.
The problem is he made them too uncomfortable with their sexuality by staring at them with his baby blue eyes.
Mhm.
And it's like, at that point, you can't challenge him, because you're just like, ugh, I feel too many things right now with him being all suspicious. And
well, I will say that the environment that they were able to make in that colony, or that little cult city, if you will, really had I don't know how many people here play video games, but had a very Resident Evil 4 kind of vibe. But Resident Evil 4 has a village, a very similar kind of village thing going on. Had a vibe like that. But I will say this: I was hoping when you finally see the witch or the entity, whoever it is that's sitting in that thing that they're feeding, that there maybe might have been some forest creatures or something, even if it was vaguely in there. I think that would have helped it a little bit, maybe not a lot, but would have been cool. So, a little something extra.
Yeah.
I thought
some plant monsters.
That whole reveal was underwhelming to me. It was like too weird in one way and not weird enough.
Yeah.
In another way.
So it wasn't. They didn't fully commit to weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my problem. There wasn't really fully committed to any. There were so many subplots that just kept going that didn't really go anywhere, and just like, I don't know. Going back to what Keith said, once the father killed his daughter, and then he's just like, "I'm in charge," and everyone's just like, "Okay." I just think it lost me a little bit.
Oh yeah, there was nobody. Yeah, there was nobody in the village that would contest that.
Yeah, Michael Sheen's just like, damn it.
Here's the thing: he apparently was a co-founder of this whole thing.
Oh yeah, the
flashback that preceded that. I'm sorry, the flashback after that was like explain that, but I feel like we needed to build up to that. Like we should have gotten that flashback, or at least understood that they were buddies. They're like the two besties, and they started this cult together. And he's sort of like the founder and conspirator of all this.
Right.
But it came out of the blue. I didn't feel that.
Yeah, that's true. There needed to be more present tension between them, because like you can't really tell that they haven't always kind of just had this like sort of brisk relationship, right? Like this kind of curt relationship, you know what I mean? Like you can't really, it doesn't develop, right? It just like his whole arc develops with his daughter falling in love with some other dude, and then he kind of goes crazy and kills his own daughter, and then screws the dude's skull open, and gives him some solid head, really skull fucks him.
Yeah.
And
there should have been like an argument, something where the main leader was doing something, and then that guy questioned it, and he's like, "Don't question my leadership." And then
you needed a little bit of like a setup of like, okay, this dude is kind of not vibing with this dude,
right? Like he needed to actually be like protecting the kid or something like that, right? Because the kid was the son of his other best friend, right? So it needed to be like a more present feud between them that builds up into something.
Yeah,
and then,
I agree.
And establish that he has influence in some way over some of the people, at least,
Right. And then there's like this whole thing about a famine that's not really present either. You know what I mean? But it's like they're killing all their livestock to feast, and then also their crops are rotten. And so it's like,
they have a ton of bread. It's like so weird.
Right. And so it's like you don't really feel that in the tone of that village, right? As much.
Up until you go into those dead crops, and they show you when he's opening it up, you don't really know, about.
It made me hungry for bread. I mean, it looked like good bread.
I want some grilled oats.
Yeah, and I agree totally. Like, I feel like there should have been a stronger supernatural element that was the real whatever there, and that was the real enemy. They fight that at the end. I don't know. I just feel like it got too convoluted. And
and then he just like lights the lady on fire after having some weird ass flashback, right? Like, what the fuck was going on there?
Oh,
like,
she had those things come out of her fingers.
His fucking head and fucking shows him like the whole backstory. It's just like an exposition, and then he just like comes back and decides, okay, I'm gonna light you on fire. Sorry about this. And she's just like, well, okay.
Well, it seemed like that's what she wanted. She wanted to be like mercy killed.
Exactly.
Because this cult, who in essence, like, I'm sure originally worshipped her, was now treating her like crap. And it's like, she was like, I don't want the bunny. I want some actual real humans. And that's why all your crops are dead. Like, you're treating the deity like shit. So of course all of your crops are dead.
Wasn't she a person who was abducted to be the deity?
I don't think so. I think she already had lived there and they found her. Because they show the guy who had the daughter.
Because he becomes the deity after.
Right.
Oh yeah, she transfers all that stuff to him.
So how did she become? So it that implied that she became that either by default or by accident or by being forced.
I think they found her there because they were in the cave. The guy was in there in the cave with the torch. The father who killed his daughter, and they showed him looking at all what the hieroglyphs or whatever the cave story of the lady on the island that everybody worshipped, maybe before they got there, it seems like, because those look pretty old. And I'm guessing they caught her and noticed that when they fed her blood that the island itself or the crops really flourished, and then decided what little they had wasn't good enough, so let's tie her down or plant her in a space and just keep
they literally just planted her like a succulent and was like,
we're gonna make this land very lush, okay?
And see, that's what's cool about Dark Souls is there's mysterious lore and stuff.
I love Dark Souls.
You know what I mean? It's like defies physics a little bit, but it's still weird and fun.
Very vague too, though.
And you know me, like,
there was rocks on fire.
Like, I love supernatural, like, deity, like forest gods, and I love like the cryptoid stories. So that was the point of the movie, where it took that like that turn for me, and I was like, oh, okay, we're bringing this into it. Cool, I'm here for it. I like The Witch.
All right, guys, where are you at on a 5-star rating? Heather?
You know, I don't know. A lot of this movie I feel like was put together in the editing room. And it had great production, but was completely incoherent in its execution. However, if you're good and stoned, it could make you cry if you watch the ending alone when you're fresh and not after you've been dragged through the whole 2-hour trial. Lot of there's at least 2 cool ass fucking practical effect scenes, and the characters are pretty watchable, so you can watch, and the acting kind of carries you through. So I would give it 3.5 stars.
It's righteous. Stefan?
I don't know. I really appreciated the gore and practical effects. The cinematography was definitely more than this movie deserved, for sure. Like, that enhanced the experience. I mean, it helped. Certainly helped. It didn't hurt it. Really liked the wardrobe, the time period. I think, and this is probably silly, but I really liked the shot that they show you the Harry Potter looking structure, and then the train starts coming.
Yeah, the opening shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for Hogwarts.
Brilliant. I think
was disappointed.
they probably blew the budget on that shot. And then
Or maybe it's recycled footage from Harry Potter. I don't know. I thought it was good. It was good. Was it great? No, by no means. It's definitely what me and my buddies call a once over. I watch it once and it's over. But definitely not a 5. I don't see it as a 4. I'm with Heather. I think it's a 3.
Okay. Stina?
I'm actually gonna go with Heather too and give it a 3.5. Just because, I mean, the cinematography was great, the acting was great, but the story itself lost me at a couple points where I was like, I'm gonna pick up my phone and check Instagram, and I'll check back in with this movie in a second. And sometimes those seconds turned into minutes. So it just, I don't know. It was a little, the story itself was a little underwhelming. So I'm going to go, but it was a good movie. So I'm going to give it a 3.5.
And Kevin?
Here we go. I'm going to be the odd man out. I'm just going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. It was, it wasn't, it wasn't bad by any means. It was, but my problem with it had potential to be so much better with the world building, and like the cinematography was great. Acting was fine. Script was it was too long, and so many ideas that just weren't fully explored. So many twists and turns that come out of nowhere. And it just lost me quite a bit near the end. I was okay with the cult, but the whole supernatural element with the witch was just kind of bizarre, and I just didn't really, I felt myself lost. And plus it was so dark at half the time, like, is that Dan Stevens? Who am I looking at right now? It just kept, I was mostly confused the entire film, and it wasn't, I don't know, I can't say I fully recommend it. It's not bad. I just, my problem with movies is that it's just so mediocre, and it has potential to be a lot better, makes me not like it. I just, that's just a solid 3 for me.
And so where I'm at is I agree with almost everything everybody said about this movie. It was confusing to me. It felt like they lost it in the end. Like, they didn't have a script, and it almost felt like they were like Gonzo style, like, hey, why don't we'll fix this later. We'll just film shit, you know? But it had great cinematography. I don't think I saw any bad acting in the entire film. The set design was great. The gore was good. You know, everything, it had a lot of redeeming qualities, and it was very watchable, even though it's by far not a perfect movie. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 because there's a lot there that's good. It's just not in total a great movie. Which gives it an average of 3 1/3 star. I don't even know if we can do a 3rd star, but that's around a 3 1/3 star.
Why not?
So you heard it here, people. It's worth watching, but like, you're not gonna buy the DVD.
Yeah, and to like tag on what you said, Keith, it almost felt like the director didn't have any control. It was the editor that had control. And
Mhm.
sometimes that works, but sometimes it just feels kind of lost.
Mhm.
You know?
Sometimes it's the opposite. The
Yeah,
person who
sometimes it
directed it
saves the
did.
film.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe that did happen here. Maybe they had nothing good written and this was the best. I don't know. You know, like anything's possible. We don't know what went on behind the scenes.
Yeah, because sometimes as an editor, you just get thrown something and you're like, here you go. And you're like, how do I fix this? I'll try.
And
All right,
well,
are you
That's like my theory about it, because so many things like feel like almost like they came together in a way where that scene could have been literally anywhere in the movie. Like I remember there was one part in particular where he first goes into the house, and this is where it lost me. But he goes into the house for the first time, and he gets chased through the sewer by the lady, right?
Mhm.
Like randomly, she just comes out of whatever fucking weird grate that he's in and starts chasing him. You know what I mean? And then suddenly you cut to the dude going to where she's all rooted in the tree. You know what I mean? And he talks to her and goes like, "Why did you reveal yourself to him?" or whatever, like that. All
just walks
accusatory.
around? Yeah.
And it's like this random scene or whatever that like makes no fucking sense. And then it cuts to him and he's somewhere else now. And it's like, okay, I can see that like that was like a bunch of bullshit that was like edited together from
Mhm.
like random pieces.
Mhm.
And so
Like
like
the editor was like, okay, this is what you gave me. This is what you're going to get. You know?
right. And like that's the thing is like he needed to discover her. He needed to be the one, the protagonist needed to be the one that discovers her, probably the dude in the hood first, right? Should have had a little fucking exchange with him dragging bags around. You know what I mean? And maybe right from the start, it's like, what are these bags for before he ever sees her? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like, he's like freeing girls from the bags. And then he could have had an encounter with the dude and like almost lost his hand, because then it would have like taken that nosedive right from, you know, it would have been way fucking better that way. That's all I'm fucking saying.
It would have been
But
nice to get a
instead,
heads up.
they're just like, all right, let's cut back to him just like chilling at the village now.
And you like, Heather, did you like his magic shower that he took after he got out of the sewer? He was like, oh, here's some dripping water from the ceiling, and then just put his head under it. And he's like, ta-da, I'm perfectly clean. Like that could have been like an editing thing where they're like, we need a pickup scene where he goes from clean to dirty or dirty to clean.
Yeah, that could have been a reshoot where they're just like, or it could have been like maybe that was originally him drinking some water, and they're just like, no, you need to. Now this is a showering scene. We're gonna make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Moving along, guys. Are you ready to see what I have picked to choose from?
Can I say something really quick, Keith?
Next week. Yeah, Stefan, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that Paramount Plus premieres on March 4th, and I'm looking forward to seeing what horror movies are on there.
Okay. Sucking up to the big horror. Paramount Plus is a new streaming service.
Yeah.
We don't have enough, guys. We need more. Please keep them coming.
I think Drag Race is going to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be on there. And there's a new Rugrats series going to go on there, and a new Star Trek.
We'll tag them and see if we can get a sponsorship. Tubi, you're on notice if you don't pick us up soon.
Tubi, I swear to God.
Tubi.
We're going to
Your
talk
last
Paramount
chance,
Plus.
Tubi. All right.
So basically, they're closing down CBS All Access. It's just being Paramount Plus. All right.
All right. So I am going to show you what we have for next week. These are the choices. First up is Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, which is available on Netflix, I believe.
Is anybody in there? Grab my hand. Wait there. I'll go get help.
Oh, no.
What I want is for all of you to treat this camp as a kind of holiday. We will have fun. We're going to make some new friends. At the same time, we will analyze our problems.
He's horny also.
Yeah, horny teens. There's got to be boobies in there.
My name is Isa. I'll be the leader of your group then. Well, off we go now.
Did you know in Poland 15,000 people disappear every year, a third of them in the woods?
Up those numbers.
Guess we're contributing to the stats this year.
Bartek, Anila, you two will
That's
stay
the
here.
same
in
hand
event
from
that
the
Daniel
ritual, by the
returns.
way.
Don't go
I was
anywhere.
gonna say.
Yeah.
Myself and Zosha will look around nearby.
Borrowing.
But it's private property. We aren't allowed to go in. Nobody's home. I say we go back, okay?
Hello, sir. Will you help us?
Our friends are dead.
Getting some Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Wrong Turn, Hills Have Eyes vibes.
I was gonna say this
bit.
is literally if like
80s
Keith's
mashup.
movie choice
Yeah.
had a baby with Stefan's movie choice.
Uh-huh. It's
And
an
this
80s
is it.
mashup. Yeah, for sure. It's got a lot of there's Friday the 13th vibes in there.
Yeah, there's some of that.
Okay. Next one up, we have Let the Right One In.
Aww.
It's
Oh, the remake. The remake.
it's the
No,
sweet. Man.
Remakes,
not the
let me-
remake.
Oh no, this is the
Not-
original. I'm sorry, my bad. This is the
Better be
original.
the original.
No, this is the
I would
original.
boycott this.
The best version.
This is the right one, right? Not the wrong one. This is 2008,
Yeah,
the
this is
Swedish
the
one.
correct
The
Oh yeah,
wrong
this
one
is the original. The American one's called Let Me In.
Mhm.
Fucking love this movie. Just want to say 10 out of 10. Oscar.
I don't want to
It is
spoil
wrong.
it, but the kid ends up giving
Han
the
är lite
vampire
ändå.
lunch money.
Yes.
Vill du bli ihop med mig?
Classic, man.
Ooh,
It is a really good film. I have seen it. We haven't reviewed it, obviously.
I own it.
And I will say I did like the remake too, but
I thought
also
it was
watched-
okay.
I
thought it was
watched the
okay.
remake first,
Be
like
quiet.
5 years ago.
Say those things. It's not
Okay.
true.
So, Stina, did you see that one?
No, I
You're-
haven't. and
You're the only
I-
one who hasn't seen it.
Fucking
We haven't
amazing,
done-
Stina.
We haven't done a vampire movie yet either. So
You should do a girl walks home alone at night. That one was so good. I recommend
And then
it.
this is the
Transfiguration
Wicker
is good
Man.
too.
Yes.
Not the original though. Let's get the
Afternoon.
Y'all
Oh, not
know
the
I love me
Sorry.
some mixed
Oh, yeah.
pumpkin
It's
cake.
I can't do
I'll
music.
get it.
Don't leave her there.
Actually, I vote this one. 'Cause
Give me your hand!
One of the worst rated movies ever.
This is unintentionally the funniest movie ever.
Edward, I know that we haven't spoken in a few years. I need your help. I have a daughter. Her name is Rowan. She has been missing for 2 weeks now. I fear she is in danger, so now I turn to you. Be careful and believe nothing that you see or hear.
Lost your bearings?
Hey, sorry, snuck up on me there.
This is private property.
Do you know her?
I don't recognize this child.
Welcome. My little girl is still here. She has been taken by who I don't know.
I'll find her.
If she existed, we would know of her.
Whose desk is this, Rowan? Hello?
You suspect foul play. The Wicker Man returns.
Who's the Wicker Man?
We're gonna search every inch of this town.
She'll burn to death. She burned to death.
I need your help.
Daddy.
A remake.
All right, that's our picks, guys.
I thought there was 3.
That was 3.
That was?
It was 3.
Was.
Did I miscount? Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, that was 3.
Stefan.
It was? Oh.
doesn't- Okay, I think I'm actually gonna vote for.
First, we need to vote on how many that was. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Voting for the first one.
First one. So nobody sleeps in the woods.
Yeah, because it's the one that I haven't seen.
Mhm.
And as much as I want to review a bad movie such as The Wicker Man, we literally just did a fucking island cult movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go with option 2.
All right. Let the right
Let the
one
right
in.
one in.
If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, you need to see it. It's a good
I
one.
haven't
Oh, it's
seen
really
it,
good.
and
Fucking amazing.
I'm always interested, just like zombies. I'm always interested how people interpret vampires, and that one looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind doing that one just to shit on the American remake and the whole concept of American remakes because they're remaking Train to Busan American style.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh,
They're
no.
gonna ruin it. Oh, they're
But
gonna
they're
ruin
also
it.
doing a sequel, so.
I seen.
down
I saw
for a
Peninsula.
sequel.
Peninsula was all right.
I think they're just
Train.
Let
they
the
do it.
Korean people, like, they're really good at making movies. Let them make movies. And
Yeah.
let's just watch their movies. You can.
I think that it's just to get rid of the subtitles. I think they're just doing it just
That's
for that.
literally
The
what
language
it is.
thing, but then they don't gotta fuck around with the script as much, and they do. So I could
Well,
be
I don't
wrong.
know, because I just felt like the remake of Let the Right One In lost all of its tone that the original had.
I haven't seen the remake.
all of the
It's
atmosphere.
okay. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's
It
not
usually
bad.
gets almost there. Like Old Boy was decent, but it wasn't anything. It wasn't as good as the Korean one.
Oh, the original is just so much better.
Right? It is.
For
Yeah,
what-
it's great. The original one
Yeah,
is
oh,
great, but
oh.
the remake wasn't like
The Spike Lee version.
god
It is.
awful. Anyway, so Stefan, what's your vote?
Oh, Let the Right One In all the way, man. That's
Okay.
that's a classic, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I think our audience would really like to hear what we think about it.
Yeah. Kevin, what would you vote on?
I think I'll save the Wicker Man for my podcast, but you guys should do Let the Right One In. That's a good
Yeah.
one. It's a
Well, that
classic.
settles it. I probably would have voted on that too. So it's Let the Right One In, people. You heard it here first.
Ooh,
Um,
vampires.
We're already praising it. Everyone here loves it, but we'll see what's the end.
Dum, dum,
It
dum.
kind of gives me feelings like how Miyazaki movies do, like
Yeah.
just comfort movies.
I feel like the Swedes and the Koreans make great horror movies.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm not saying anything about it. Like, y'all some twisted motherfuckers. No, but it's great.
What else
stuff.
do they got to worry about? They got
Yeah.
everything else. Just make horror movies.
All right, people, that has
Exactly.
been our podcast. We're the Sick Folks of Cinema, and we would like to thank our special guest, Kevin Heisinger. Thanks, Kevin, for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Of course.
And we'll see you guys next week with the review of Let the Right One In. All right, later.